What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, all my good people? I'm back. I'm here. I haven't done a review for WWE in about a week or so because it really hasn't been. It hasn't been a good build, but we are back. We are live, and I must say, I don't like this song. It's playing. What's the song I like? Here we go. All right, we are back. We are back. We are back. Night 1, WrestleMania is in the books. Moving on to night 2. All right, but let's focus on night 1. First of all, let me just say this about this company. I can sit here and talk shit on them and do this and do that, which I will throughout this show. But when they come through, they come through. And tonight was one of those nights where I think I want to say 90% of the show was good. 85 to 90% of the show was good. And we got a lot of WrestleMania moments tonight. You know, most of tonight's show is what a Mania is supposed to be about. It's what the fans have been complaining about and wanting and things like that. And tonight I felt like, I'm not gonna say they heard us, but I felt like tonight was, I don't even want to say a good start. Tonight it gave what it needed to give. Let me just say that. So yeah, you know, it did what it needed to do, and I'm satisfied with tonight. Now I don't know if this part is true or not because I know how they are with their numbers, but apparently tonight there was 77,899 in attendance tonight. So okay, that's what they say. The New Day. So this, let me get the bad stuff out the way first. Some of the bad stuff out the way first. Sheamus, the New Day, Xavier and Kofi, because Big E is out on injury right now. So Xavier and Kofi, along with Sheamus, Ridge, and Butch, known as Pete. Match was cut tonight. I like the New Day. I did not need to see this match on WrestleMania. So for me, I'm not like, oh, that's messed up if the match was not on the card, because it was definitely a SmackDown match. It's definitely a house show match. It didn't give me WrestleMania. And the first 2 matches of tonight also did not give me WrestleMania. So, you know, but at the same time, like, I don't feel bad because the United States champion, Finn Balor, or Ricochet, the Intercontinental champion, who just won his title about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, wasn't on the show and is not on the card at all this weekend. So, you know, I think that's more messed up than anything else. They show so many fucking video packages. I'm like, all that time y'all took showing video packages and commercials and stuff like that, y'all could have had the matches. So y'all trying to cut on time, cut on that. You showed all that stuff on the pre-show. We don't need to keep seeing it throughout the night, especially for stuff that's going on tomorrow. They had this random, and I ain't getting on it because that's my girl, but they had this random Sasha Banks package about all the stuff she's achieved in her career, and I'm like, okay, that part was like a good 2 or 3 minutes. They had a Brock Lesnar and Roman package that they're going to end up showing again tomorrow. They had a Pat McAfee package that they're going to show again tomorrow, or later today, I should say. So, like, a lot of that stuff, that's probably a good 10 minutes right there that could have been given to somebody. So I don't like that part. I think that was messed up that they're not on WrestleMania. But again, the New Day and Sheamus and Ridge and them, they didn't really have much going on. So, hey. The show opens up with it. So at first I was complaining about how the show opened up. But after match 3, 4, and 5, I understand why they were in the middle of the show. So the show opens up with the SmackDown Championship title match between the Usos and Shinsuke and Rick Boogs. The match turns into a 2-on-1 because in the middle of the match, Rick was trying to do I think a double Samoan drop. I'm not sure what he was going for. So he had both Usos on his shoulder, and his knee gave out. So come to find out, he actually tore his quad or torn his knee. So he'll be out. He has to get surgery, so he'll be out for a while. So the match turned into a 2-on-1. Come to find out they had to change the finisher. That's probably why the match seemed so short. I guess it was always meant. So I don't know if it was always meant for the Usos to win or not, but they had to change it, so they hit the 1D, which is their version of the 3D from the oh my gosh, Dudley Boys back in the day. So they hit a 1D on Shinsuke. They won the match, and the match was over. Like I said, it was quick, but later on, and if you was on social media, you found out why the match was so quick. So I guess the Usos move on to Lost Lothardos or the Viking Raiders again, or the New Day, maybe Sheamus and Ridge. I don't know. I do know that it's time to call some tag teams up. Like Imperial could come on up. And whoever else has been in NXT too long could come on up. The second match of the night. So the first two matches, I was like, oh, this shit. Okay, here we go. So the second match up is Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. The story is stupid. The feud was stupid. Even after yesterday, when Friday Night SmackDown, even when Corbin tried to talk shit on Drew and talk about his mother and things like that, I still wasn't interested in the match. I guess they just had to give Drew something to do. Again, this is a SmackDown match. I think the most important thing out of this match was that Corbin hit the end of days, which I love that finisher. He hit the end of days, and nobody has ever kicked out of that, and Drew kicked out of it. So that was pretty much the story. So I don't know if people are going to start kicking out of that move or not. I hope not. I hope this is like a one-time thing, but he kicked out of it. Next thing you know, Drew hit the Claymore and won the match. I don't know. I don't know when either one of these guys goes. I think Corbin is going to end up feuding with Madcap. I think they're going to break up soon. I guess you move Corbin on to Roman. I mean, you move Drew on to Roman. But I don't know. Maybe you can move him on to Roman and move Happy onto Ricochet. But I feel like Ricochet and Sammy probably will go back to feuding. I don't know. But yeah, that was that. So I don't know where either one of those two guys go from here. I do. Let me say this. I don't know where Corbin goes on from here. I do know that I do have a feeling that Drew's going to go back to the main event picture. He ain't winning the title, but he's going back to the main event picture. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like there's an eyelash on my eye. It's like the worst I can't see. So this is where the night gets good. Match 3. So the third match of the night is the Mysterios, Dominik and Rey Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. So I had zero interest in the storyline. I didn't know what they were going to do at Mania. I'm going before the storyline started, but I had zero interest in this. I'm not gonna say that I'm not interested, but I'm more curious about what happens, especially how the match ended. But I will say this: this is a very, very good match. This is a very good match. Kudos to Logan Paul. You know, I can definitely see him being in the company. He definitely plays like that heel role. The match started off hot. You know, everybody was getting offense. Everybody was doing their thing. The crowd really did not get into the match until probably towards the end, and this is where everybody got into the match. And I think this is what made the match really, really good. Ray was trying to go for the three amigos, which is Eddie Guerrero's one of his signature moves. He was not able to hit it. Logan Paul, however, hit the three amigos and the frog splash that Eddie hit, and the crowd lost it. I mean, they could have booed that man out the fucking arena. So like I said, things got hot from there. Dominik was showing out. He was hitting all kind of moves. He was hitting corkscrews off the ropes and everything. Like, that boy is really, really doing his thing. And just when I thought the match was over, they both hit the 619. All of a sudden, the Miz, the Miz hit the Skull Crusher finale on, what's the damn guy name? On Ray. I'm looking right at my notes. He hit it on Ray and won the match. So the Miz and Logan won the match, and they're celebrating. And then I seen this look in Miz's face, and the next thing you know, he hits Logan Paul with the Skull Crusher finale. So the question is, does Logan Paul get a contract? Is this more like just a couple little matches just to give the Miz something to do in the meantime? It's interesting. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like, the Mysterio, they can go be tag teams. You know, you can put them over in SmackDown if you need to. They can go just they can just be tag teams, or they can compete for the title. What happens with the Miz? And it's weird because I'm not a fan of the Miz, but I'm not a fan of the Miz. Like, I like the Miz, but then I'm like, I can do without the Miz. You know, but this has me curious about. Now, I will say the Miz is a great worker. He can put on great matches. So I'm curious about where they go with this story. You know, is this like just a one-time thing? Is this something just to be like, you know, whatever, because the fans really don't like Logan Paul? Or are we really going to see a match between them? Like, is Miz still heel? Is he babyface? So, you know, I was curious. But like I said, this is where WrestleMania really became WrestleMania within the next couple matches I'm getting ready to talk about. And this is where I started to get more interested. Like, okay, here we go. Now we talking. Out next comes Stephanie McMahon, and she's actually wearing blue. So I'm like, kudos to you, because her ass always wearing black. And she introduced Gable Stevenson. They're really, really big on him. So we'll see what he does in the company. I don't know shit about him. So we'll see what he does in the company. I will say that he seems like he looks black, so that's good that they really up on him. You know, I'm always here for the black people getting ahead, especially in the WWE. This is where things really, really took off from here. The fourth match of the night is for the Raw Women's Championship, and it's Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. So this story has been going on since SummerSlam, as we all know. Bianca won a SmackDown Championship last year at WrestleMania from Sasha Banks, where they made history as being the first two black women to ever main event a WrestleMania. And to me, that match is more historical than this match. But I don't know if it was better. Like, to me, this was the match of the night. Yeah, this was the match of the night for me. But I don't know which match was better though. I need to sit down and think about that one. But so all that took place, and then Bianca was on a nice little run, and then Sasha disappeared. Something, I'm not sure what happened, but she went away. Maybe she was injured, maybe she was filming. I don't know what happened. Becky comes back at SummerSlam, beats Bianca within 26 seconds, and Becky turned heel. And to me, this has been the worst run for Becky. I don't like her heel character. I don't know what the fuck she be wearing. I don't know what she be talking about. Now she's defended her titles. She's been putting the work in as far as defending and doing things like that. But I'm like, whatever. So that story was dragging out off and on since last August, whenever SummerSlam was in 2021, up until tonight. Now, there was never a doubt in my mind that Bianca was not going to win the title. I think for me, I was just over the storyline because I was ready for them to move on. Let Bianca have the title. Let her hold the title for a year or so. Really, if you're going to make Bianca that girl, build off of her. Build off of her. Let her feud. Get her and Rhea back in the picture. Get her and Asuka or her and Bayley. Get her some matches with Naomi. Get her some matches with Sonya Deville. Get her some matches with Carmella and Liv and things like that. We don't really need to see Becky in the title picture, for a little while. Even though I know Becky's not going nowhere, she's going to be in the title picture. She's probably never going to leave the title picture. But these are just some suggestions in my mind. Let's start with the entrance. So this is the first major entrance that we've seen tonight, and it started with Becky. She came out with this kind of how Avengers open up with all the different characters and different movies and scenes and things like that, the Marvel universe, all that stuff. That's how they kind of did Becky. I was like, And then she pulled up in the alley or whatever she pulled up in. She got out. I was like, okay. Now she looked good. Her outfit looked very, very good. I think this is the best Becky has looked since she's come back. Because as I just said, Becky be wearing, I'd be like, girl, what the fuck you be having on? But you need a damn stylist. So whoever her styled her tonight, thank you. You must have saw my text conversation that I was having about her. But the entrance of the night goes to the one and the only Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair came through and she represented for the HBUs. She came through with the Texas University marching band, and people kind of offended because Corey Graves was like, "What the hell is this?" But I didn't really pay it no mind because to me, I was like, "Idiot, you know what it is. You know what's up." She came out. She looked fucking amazing, and her entrance was just fire. It was fire. The marching band playing her music, she coming out like the leader. It was straight up fire, and I loved every minute of it. I'm glad she got to do that. I'm glad it was with a whole bunch of black people up on stage. I'm not even going to sit here in front. She did that, so I'm very, very happy about that. The match starts off hot. I feel like they didn't slow down. Let me see how long the match was, because I feel like they just. Let me see, because I want to see how long all these matches were. So let's look at this. Let's get the times for the matches. All right. So the Usos match was 6 minutes and 55 seconds. Drew's match was 8 minutes. Miz's match was 11 minutes. Bianca had the second longest match of the night. They had almost a 20-minute match, 19 minutes. And for 19 minutes, they was on fire. They didn't slow that match down, I don't think, at all. I think 99% of that match was fast, high paced. It was super physical. There was one spot where as soon as the match started, they were trying to hit their finishers, and I literally was like, oh shit, because Becky hit the manhandle, and I was like, oh, that's it. Bianca done. Bianca kicked out. Next thing you know, they started fighting and all kind of stuff. She didn't do the hair whip because Becky was doing a lot of pulling up her hair. She didn't do the hair whip, but they got physical. Like, man, they got physical. There was one spot where Becky did a spine buster on the steps with Bianca, and Bianca literally was out for like 9 seconds. And then she went back up and ran into the ring. It was several close calls. And for me, like I said, this is the match of the night. I don't know how Charlotte and Ronda was going to follow up. I knew they weren't going to do what they did. Well, I'll get into that. I'm jumping into it. Let me focus on this. Bianca wins. Bianca hit the KOD, and she wins. And for me, I'm ready for her to move on. I don't need to see her. I want to see her and Rhea. I think they have excellent chemistry together. I would not mind one more match between her and Becky. Based off of tonight's match, I wouldn't mind one more. But after that, I don't need any more. We don't need any more matches after that for a long time. But like I said, tonight for me, the match of the night was Bianca. Everything about Bianca, she's a star. Everything about her is a star. Everything about her is she's a star. Like she's a star. Like, you know, when she came up, I was like kind of mad because she never won the NXT title. But to me, the way that she's been booked for the last 2 years, I can overlook her not winning the NXT title. And she's beaten every horsewoman except for Charlotte. And I love it. I love it. So we have a new Raw Women's Champion, and her name is Bianca Belair, and I'm interested to see where they go with her. I'm interested to see how long she holds the title. And like I said, one more match with Becky, get that out the way, then move on to her and Rhea, her and Asuka, or her and Bayley, depending on who comes, you know, who goes to what show. Her and Liv, you know, just her. She probably had a match with Dewdrop. But yeah, let's see what happens, you know, from there. What I would love to happen is for Bianca to come out on Monday night, you know, talk her shit, let them know she is that girl, and Asuka's music hit. I think that would be hot. Not Lacey Evans, not Becky Lynch's, Asuka. I think that would be fire. Yeah, so, or Rhea's. You know, either one, depending on how tomorrow night goes with that match. So outside of that being the match of the night, this next match was the most anticipated match, and it was the 5th match of the night, which is Seth Rollins and his mystery opponent, who was supposed to be chosen by Vince McMahon. Now, there's been reports for the last month about, is this person coming back? Is this person not coming back? Well, we all know by now his mystery opponent is Cody Rhodes. But it's been rumors and, you know, for months now. He left AEW. Did he really leave? It's a swerve. People didn't know what was going on. Did he really leave AEW to go back to WWE? People were not happy about it because of how, you know, WWE treats their people. Like, it's no secret. Some people was like, why are you leaving AEW to go back to WWE? But we don't know how he was treated in AEW. And we also don't know what kind of relationship him and the AEW people have. It. You know, clearly he mended fences with WWE, so he's ready to go back. Hey, let me tell you something. You got to get your money. However you get your money is how you get it. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all. They offer him millions of dollars. If they offer him more than what AEW was offering him, he's looking out for his future and his family. I ain't mad at you, man. So, you know, like I was saying, there was rumors he was going to back out. Seth doesn't have an opponent. My thing was, if Seth did not have an opponent, who was the backup? That's what I was more concerned about. Who was the backup plan for Seth? I don't think they ever had one. I think they was always relying on Cody. So, there's all these reports out there, and I don't know if WWE was putting the reports out or who was putting the reports out, but they kept people talking. And I will give Seth credit because he built this story on his own. He was fighting. He didn't have an opponent. He thought it was going to be him and Kevin Owens winning the championship. He fought AJ Styles to face Edge, and he lost. He fought KO to host a talk show with Seth, with Stone Cold, and he lost. So tonight was the night, and to be honest with you, I was expecting, I thought it would have been kind of funny if Vince would have came out, and multiple people have been saying this, but if Vince would have came out and would have been like, so your mystery opponent is the son of the greatest promoter of all times, and then Shane McMahon would have came out, and then Vince would have been like, nah, I'm not talking about you. And then Cody would have came out. First of all, if Shane or if anybody else other than Cody Rhodes would have came out, I think them people probably would have tore down that fucking stadium. I just think they would have tore that fucking stadium down. But Cody Rhodes came out and the audience lost it. I think Bianca, Cody, and Stone Cold, those three matches probably had the biggest pops of the night. And to me, that's how you do a WrestleMania. So Cody Rhodes comes out. First of all, let me say this. I like Seth's outfit. Seth's outfit I really, really like. And I feel like Seth was the perfect opponent for Cody. I don't know if they're going to have a feud. I wouldn't mind it. But I think that was a perfect opponent for Cody and vice versa. And one thing about Seth, and I don't know if we should start calling him this or not, but could we start calling Seth Mr. WrestleMania? I don't know. I just know every WrestleMania match he's been in, he's never failed. It's never been a dull Mania match that he's been in. Seth is really, really a great performer in the ring. The match started off very slow, and the crowd was kind of like, after they had calmed down, the crowd was kind of like, okay, let's see where this goes, blah, blah, blah. They gave it some time. But once they got their groove, that match was fire. Once they got their groove, that match was fire. And, after some back and forth and things like that, Cody gets the W. Cody gets the win. And like I said, I think that's the right opponent. The question is, where do they go from now? I think I would have them feud probably until maybe Money in the Bank. And then I think I would put Cody in Money in the Bank. Yeah, I think I would put Cody in Money in the Bank and have him win. I think that's what I would do. I got to see how tomorrow plays out before I really start going into what I would do with these people. But it was a really, really great match. It was a great moment. Welcome back after 6 years. Cody Rhodes is back in the WWE. I'm not sure how long he'll be there, but kudos to him for making the decision and doing what he wants to do and not letting other people pressure him. And going back to a company that he, was once part of, and everybody getting back on the same page. So kudos to him. This is where shit got stupid. Now, I have not been a fan of this story. I had no interest in this story. I felt like the WrestleMania match should have been Charlotte versus Naomi. Hell, Charlotte versus Sasha. But Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, the story was boring. Ronda is boring. Charlotte is irritating at times. because she never wants to sell or she has a horrible ass moonsault. She never wants to sell for anybody. And I feel like she just only does good with people that she likes, like outside of the ring. This match was dull. This match was boring. I don't want to hear, but they were in the middle. They were right before Stone Cold and right after Cody. No. First of all, it wasn't like it was a 14, 15 match show. It was 7 matches. And out of those 7 matches, the Logan and Ray match, the Bianca and Becky match, and the Cody and Rose match was the only matches that had the people involved. Had them hype, had the audience popping. Charlotte and Ronda just don't work well together. They were sloppy in the ring, and I wasn't interested. And again, like I said, it has nothing to do with the spot. They could have been the main event. They could have opened the show. They could have closed the show. Nobody was interested in that match, especially after what we saw Charlotte and Naomi do. No. So, but they brought Ronda back in. They had her win the Royal Rumble, which to me didn't make any sense because y'all brought her back in. Y'all could just give her the damn title match. Charlotte, that's their girl they run to, but the match was horrible. I will probably get like 2 or 3 more matches out of them. Eventually, Ronda probably will end up getting the title, and she can move on to Sasha or Sonya or Naomi or somebody. Maybe she could go on to Shayna. Maybe she could do something. But that match was sloppy and it was dry. Like it was dry. That match was dry. And like I said, I don't give a fuck where they was at in the card. Wasn't nobody interested in watching that bullshit. So let me go ahead and get through this so I can move on to the main event. The match was all over the place. Like I said, there was one point where Charlotte was going for her submission. Ronda ended up pushing her into the referee. Before all that, Ronda hit the Piper's Pit. The referee hit 3. He did a 1, 2, 3. And then he looked up and saw that Charlotte's foot was on the rope. And that shit ain't never stopped their asses before from hitting a 1, 2, 3 and moving on. And all of a sudden, he looks up and see that her foot is on the rope. They say no. They call it off. I don't know if that was a botch, if that was meant to happen. I don't know. But he was like, no, call it off. Keep the match going. Again, as I just said, as long as I've been watching wrestling, I've never seen that happen. But whatever. So then the match goes on. And Charlotte is hitting her. She's trying to hit her signature submission. And Ronda pushes her into the ref. The ref falls down. Ronda gets her up. Ronda has her in the arm bar. Charlotte is tapping. Ronda looks over, see that the ref is down. And then all of a sudden, Ronda runs over to get the ref, picks the ref up. Charlotte hits her with a big boot, and then she wins. I'm like, what the fuck was that? I saw people online like, oh, the ending was the ending slapped. The ending did this. No, the ending was stupid, just like the beginning and the middle. That was a horrible match. That was the worst match of the night. And I just told you we had a match between Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin. We had a 6-minute tag match between the Usos and Shinsuke and Rick Boogs. Charlotte and Ronda was the worst match of the night. And I think it was the worst match of the night because they don't work well together. And also, nobody was invested in that story. Sorry. But Charlotte just had to have Ronda. And they just wanted Ronda. So we'll probably get 3 more matches out of them. I actually will not be surprised if Ronda is in Money in the Bank. I guess at the end of the day, they're trying to get Ronda and Becky for next year's WrestleMania. I'm sure it'll be better than what we saw tonight, but in the meantime, We got more Charlotte and more Ronda. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. Woo. As I mentioned earlier, the New Day, Sheamus, and Ridge Holland match got cut. As I said earlier, I don't feel no kind of way about it because I was more upset that the Intercontinental Championship match, title, nor the U.S. title was on the show. And Finn has a feud going on right now, so his match could have been on the show. But that's they was in a battle royal. Like what? In a battle royal? And then on top of that, you had a triple threat match between Angel Garza and Roberto Carrillo, who are a tag team, to go against Ricochet. What I would have done is taken Pete Dunne. His name would still be Pete Dunne, and he would have a match with Ricochet, or the match would be Sammy versus Ricochet. Hell, you could have brought Tommaso up, and the match could have been Tommaso and Ricochet. But again, we got to focus on what's going on tonight. So those matches were cut. It is what it is. So this is where things got good again. And I actually did not take notes because I was like, wow, I can't believe this is actually happening. The final segment of the night is the Stone Cold and Kevin Owens, the Kevin Owens show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. So a lot of people were not. So it was weird. 50% of people were happy when they heard that this was going to happen, and 50% was not happy that this was going to happen. I didn't really have I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't like how they did it. Now I get why they did it, right? They did it because they needed to sell tickets. But let me tell you how I would have booked Kevin Owens and Stone Cold. I'd have booked Kevin Owens and Stone Cold the same way they booked John Cena and The Undertaker, and the same way they booked Seth and Cody tonight. I would have had Kevin Owens talking so much shit about Texas, talking so much shit about Stone Cold, and just crying about how he doesn't have a WrestleMania match and things like this. And probably at the end of the show or at the beginning of the show, I would have had Kevin come out, do his spiel, talk his shit. Then I would have had a couple other people from Texas come out, right? I would have had Shawn Michaels come out and things like that. Then you would have heard that glass break. You would have saw Stone Cold. You would have saw Stone Cold come out there, talk his shit to Kevin. And everything else that happened tonight is what I would have went through. So, Stone Cold Steve Austin has not wrestled in 19 years. His last match was against The Rock at WrestleMania 17, I think. And I could be wrong, but one of those WrestleManias. And yeah, WrestleMania. Maybe it was WrestleMania 19. I think it was 19. I'm not sure. But anyway, one of those WrestleManias. And he has not wrestled since then. Stone Cold has been the only person, and I give him kudos and mad props for this, has been the only person who says, if I'm not going to wrestle, who has retired and not wrestled. He took his injuries very seriously, which he should have, and he has not wrestled in 19 years. So, people were like, I don't want to see that match. That's going to be stupid, blah, blah. Seeing Stone Cold in the ring again, for me, made me very happy and made me think about when I was younger and watching, the Attitude Era with The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, Chyna, Kane, Undertaker, all those great people. And I love that Kevin Owens got that moment. And also, I love that he got to close out WrestleMania with an icon. Because Because for the longest time, we've been kind of upset about the way Kevin Owens has been booked. We've been like, why isn't he not champion? At one point, we thought he was going to leave WWE and things like that. Nowhere in this match did I think they were actually going to have a wrestling match. Nowhere during the time that I think Stone Cold was going to actually take real bumps. I heard that he was training and things like that, and I was like, okay, cool. They actually had a match tonight. It wasn't a long match, but they actually had a match tonight. Like, they was in the audience fighting. They were doing suplexes on the concrete. They was on the stage doing suplexes. Stone Cold got hit with a stunner. Kevin Owens went through a table. They actually had a match. So I was like, wow, they are actually sitting here wrestling. So nothing technical, nothing, we've seen Kevin Owens go and things like that, but they were actually in a match tonight. And the match was better than Charlotte and Ronda. I think based off of what I've seen tonight so far, night 2 got some work to put in. Night 2 got some work to put in. Night 2 got some work to put in. Let me just say that. But it was a good match. It was a good moment. It was a good WrestleMania, minus a couple things, but it was a good show. Kudos to them. I'm with you when you right. So WWE, y'all did something. Kudos to you. You sent the fans home happy. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It's crazy because as Stone Cold was out, I was like, what if The Rock comes out tomorrow at the end of Brock and Roman? That'll be interesting. And so you heard it here first. But yeah, so good to them. I don't know if Stone Cold will continue to have like a role or something for the next couple of weeks or months or whatever. But I really, really enjoyed what him and Kevin Owens did. And Stone Cold got the win. He hit the KO. He hit the stunner on Kevin Owens and had the police escort that ass up out of there. And kudos to him. He hit a stunner on Byron Saxton. I don't know what the fuck Byron Saxton and Corey Graves had on tonight. They look horrible. But whatever. Stone Cold was in the ring celebrating with his brother, and the show went off. So, like I said, I give credit when credit is due, and y'all did the thing tonight. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow for night 2. I'll be back on Monday for the Raw after Mania. Hopefully, this will be a much better Raw than it has been in previous years. Maybe we'll get some returns. Maybe we'll get some call-ups. We'll see. But yeah, and then we'll see what happens on SmackDown for that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. Like I said, I took a little break because it was boring and wasn't shit happening. I really, really enjoyed WrestleMania night. Hopefully, I'll enjoy WrestleMania tomorrow. And yeah, we'll take it from there. And everybody have a good night. Enjoy your night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those who will be watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. As you see, I'm on the road to 200, so get those likes, like, comment, and subscribe. I enjoy doing this, and I will be doing more of it. Thank you, and everybody have a good night. Have a stupendous night.